13th in the Championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football show and to what is quickly becoming everyone's favourite show, if I do say so myself, the final word. Final word on Leeds United versus Swansea, or Swansea versus Leeds United, whichever way you want to look at it. Final word on what has been, outside of the Ipswich result, a very good week for Leeds United, very good midweek. The fact that Southampton dropped points first. Now, they play a decent side, they drop points. It is what it is. Good luck on Friday against Carlos Corberán and Southampton. But the big thing for me is it's back in Leeds United's hands. Even if Ipswich win or won tonight, and if they win the game in hand, the goal difference is far superior. Same as well with Southampton. I think it was like a 6-goal difference swing last night. And even if they win their game in hand, they're a point in front of us. Take it to the last day. We beat them, we're up, right? I believe it might be done before then because I'm confident in this Leeds United side and how we're playing right now. But yeah, we're here to talk about that and maybe look ahead to the weekend as well, because we have got Plymouth early Saturday. Southampton have got West Brom, and of course, you know, we don't know what's happening with Bamford, so we'll throw some chatting about that. And like Andrew's just said here, he's read the mind or was watching before we started. The big thing, Joe, is Bamford. We will get to that, but before we do, let's just check in with everyone, see how they are and see their initial thoughts on the game. And I'll go from my right. No, well, that can't be. Well, it looks like my right in front of me, but when I go right there, it's not Joe, is it? But my left or your, I don't know. Joe, talk to me about last night, mate. How was it for you? Great result, right?
It was a great result. It was a match that when I was first watching it, I was a little bit disappointed because I missed the first 15 minutes because I had to go to Lidl. So I come back and we're already 2-0 up, and I was like, okay, brilliant, that's fine. So aside from that, everything I saw was just
What
excellent.
did you go to Lidl for?
I went to Lidl and it's really boring. I just picked up some milk.
Was it worth it?
No, absolutely not.
Because milk, or was it coffee milk? Was it barista milk? Was it oat milk? Like,
we're just talking some standard like
Milk.
semi-skim but long life sort of stuff. Just because I'm not that much of a milk person, but occasionally you have a cereal. It varies a little bit.
For a bit of time, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. It can just vibe in there for a little while. But after I got my nice vibesy milk, I decided I would actually watch the football match that I would have to talk about a day later. And yeah, everything I saw was quite good. They basically played into our hands a lot of the time. They had an incredibly high line, which is very stupid when you're against Willie Gnonto and Crescencio Summerville and Jorginho Rutter and evidently now Archie Gray playing the balls in behind that just tore them apart. And I think even from what I saw, they were quite lucky to not be 6-7 down at half-time. And the fact that we couldn't just build and build and build was a little bit of a shame because, you know what, it's quite rare you get to see double digits in football, but I feel like if it was going to happen, it might have happened last night. But I enjoyed it. You know me, I'm the eternal optimist, and it was finally a night where I've been a little bit proven right, so I'll take it.
yeah, you might as well, mate. It was great. It was great performance from minute 1 to 15, and the rest of it, bro. In all honesty, we could have had a third, I think, within that 15 minutes had Gnonto finished his chance, but he did get 2 later on, so we can't grumble too much. There's a lot being made about the result. People saying it's the best performance. Farke said that himself. But we have to look at, and Joe mentioned it, this high line. They did help us massively, didn't they, though? That's the problem. Not the problem, but, yeah.
You are muted, I think.
I did that because I wanted to cough. Oh, well. I forgot. They didn't get the memo, did they? You know, how to beat Leeds. Low block and wait. You know, they didn't. You know, every team we've said this all year long, give us space and we'll absolutely destroy you. You know, we did it with Ipswich. We've done with any team that's decided to come out and try and play against us. We've just absolutely destroyed them. I actually thought it was a pretty sloppy game in the pitch. I think the weather didn't help the conditions. There was a lot of bobbly passes, the ball pinging off people in the middle of the park. I thought Groove and Kamara did their level best to try and get some form of order on the game in the middle of the park, but the ball was all over the place in the middle of the pitch. It was players everywhere. It felt like a cup tie more than a league game. It had that kind of vibe to it. It was just, we'll have a go, you have a go, we have a go, and they'll get scrappy in the middle of the park for a while. But the amount of, I mean, I thought they'd learn after the first goal. I, like Joe, missed the first 20 minutes of the game because of crisis in work. So I was on phone calls at past.
You've picked the perfect panel for this one, Joe.
I looked at my phone before I got off my last meeting, and I was like, I'm so angry now. I was angry in the meeting, but I was like, now I'm really angry because I've missed the first 2 goals in 10 minutes. We haven't done that all season. I'm fuming. So I caught up. But yeah, I look, we're a very good team when we have the ball and we've got space to play into. Archie was excellent last night, and to Joe's point, I mean, he even has the time and space to do little drag backs before he plays the ball into space. And every time he got it, he could turn open his body and ping it in behind. So yeah, they played in their hands. They absolutely played in their hands. They're not a very good side. Anyone see Matt Grimes anywhere, or his mum? Were they floating around after the game at all?
She's still down in that bottle of wine. This time, not for happiness though, but like to drown her sorrows. Do you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, just off the back of her tweet when Matt was with us, I was waiting on us to rent a van so we could get the hell out of there after the game. So couldn't wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she said, "What did she have? I've already drank a full bottle of wine. She was drowning one last night.
Drank all week.
Sorrows, yeah. Carl, you've probably already spoken about this tonight on your show, but you're gonna have to repeat yourself, matey. How was it? Did you see the first 15, by the way?
I did actually, yeah,
Oh,
I did. So I have a little bit more insight into what happened in the 10 minutes at the start than the 2 boys, I'd imagine. I was very pleased with the performance. I said on our pod there that it was sometimes it can be a sticky old place to go, Swansea or Wales in general, and I thought we showed our championship credentials there, like our promotion credentials as such. And like there's been a few games recently where I've gone, geez, that's probably our best performance of the season. I'm struggling now to pick a best performance of the season since the turn of the new year, because look at us, like we're as you say, Joe, man, we're cooking, like, and we've literally hit the form we're in now at the right time. Southampton peaked far too early, and I think I said on the pod as well, I was like, I thought Russell Martin, I know we're here to talk about Swansea and Leeds, but I thought Russell Martin coming out there yesterday and saying that he can't believe how they're on such a long winning streak and they're not clear of us. And I said, psychologically to his players, that is not great.
Is that what he said? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
he came out, he said it in an article, and you could see that kind of. I have no doubt in my mind that was playing on Southampton's minds last night. They're like, Jesus, we have to start trying to pull away here, and all that kind of thinking messes with your game. You lose concentration. There's various elements of it, and I think that hasn't done us a favor because we're on fire at the moment anyway. So he's only done themselves detriment with that comment. And last night, there was spells in that game where I thought it could be a cricket score here, like it could be absolutely massive. And we've been saying for ages that some team is going to get an absolute walloping, and we're at least getting 4 goals anyway. We just need another 2 or 3 to hammer it home. Like, so last night was it proved to me that I feel we can go up automatically. I think the form we're in, I think it's second place is ours to lose now. I think, without sounding too cocky or ahead of myself or anything like that, we've got probably the best run in out of Southampton and Ipswich. And Southampton, they have to play us final day of the season. Elm Road's not going to be an easy place for them to come. So no. I'm more over the moon with last night's performance. Just a shame that it wasn't more.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It could well have been more. I think, like you said, every week now it's almost Oscar. It's like a more complete performance, a less stressful performance. Rotherham was the same. You know, we're going through these games and we're like, do you know what? I'm like, even when celebrating the goals, like it almost feels like it's a formality at this stage. Do you know what I mean? I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised at the minute, Oscar. It's like, yeah, we're going to go into the game. We're going to be the only game, like at the minute, jeopardy. And this is not even for 2 more. Like, I'm thinking about Leicester, and okay, that might be overlooking Plymouth, but I genuinely feel that we go into every game of football thinking that we should be winning and winning well, and Swansea were the just latest notch on the list, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will just address the elephant in the room about my mic. I did spend a whole video this morning on Leeds TV saying, that's it, that's it. You'll never ever see this mic again. It's gone, it's gone. One more video, guys. It is getting replaced.
One more match.
One more. Warnock accent. I've got one more in me, Sharon, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, we've I used the word inevitable last night. We do have that inevitability about us at this moment in time. The momentum we're on. It's not going to last all season. We're going to have one result or two results or three results where it just goes against us. I don't think any of the three teams behind Leicester, even Leicester themselves, are going to keep up the pace they're on at this moment in time. I do think as the season goes, into the Saturday, Tuesdays, you will see points get dropped along the way. But this moment in time, this is the Farker time of season, isn't it, really, in terms of after January, into February, into March, this is where the points get racked up, really, and you're starting to see that with this Leeds team. And in terms of the way we press, we just suffocate teams. We really do just suffocate teams at this moment in time. But I think it especially helps when teams play a high line against us and try and play expansively, because if you open up against Rutter, Summerville, Gnonto in this form, Piroe, obviously, I think these type of games suit Piroe a lot more. We're going to discuss him in a little bit more detail, but all round, it just suits us a lot better when teams play a little bit more openly against us. So I do expect Plymouth will adapt things a little bit. They'll be a little bit more compact, deeper, but I still think we've got answers for that as well. And it's just the fact, you look at the last 7 games, it's not just the fact we're winning the last 7 games, it's the margins we're winning by. And the fact that the margins we're winning by aren't even fair reflections of the game. Pretty much every game we've had since January the 1st, we could have won 5 or 6-0. Like, no exaggeration, we genuinely could have won 5 or 6-0. Even the Preston game that was a bit tense, we had so many chances in that game before we got the penalty, and that's the most encouraging thing. And I don't want to keep talking about the defensive side of things when we're scoring so many goals at the other end, but that is seriously helping things. And I think it's relaxing the whole front four, the fact that you've got that back line.
Do you know what? They've conceded 1 goal in 7 games, Oscar. They deserve praise, mate.
Of course they do. And it's because we're such an exciting team, it doesn't feel right to just talk about the defence, but I've got to talk about them because it's an insult when a team has a shot on target to Joe Rodon. When you look at him, he's absolutely seething when teams have shots on target against us, never mind chances. So it's a whole mentality shift on that side of things. I think maybe first half of the season, I wouldn't say we were casual defensively, but we certainly weren't as all-round solid as a unit as what we are now. And I think that's just us developing as a team under Farker. And physically as well, what really stands out to me. I saw a little bit of the Ipswich game. I mean, I was watching mostly Champions League tonight before it, but I watched sort of the last 20, 25 minutes of the Ipswich game, and the conditioning and fitness level, to me, I think we've got the edge on that side of things. I think we look like the season's just starting for us in terms of the energy we've got. And Southampton and Ipswich, I think you're starting to see a little bit of fatigues sort of creeping in there a little bit. And at the start of the season, that front four wasn't pressing the way it pressed last night and has pressed since January. It's another big thing with this Daniel Farker team. I think we're improving all the time.
100%.
And there is across the team, absolutely everyone is at absolute minimum of 7 out of 10 at this moment in time. Most of the players are 8 or 9 out of 10, and that's the most encouraging thing. Even under Bielsa.
When was the last time someone had a bad game?
Yeah, that's true. I can't really think. No. Yeah, it's a long time, and that's the biggest thing. It feels like
Archie against Sunderland, perhaps.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? For 45 minutes, I don't know.
Maybe Spence against West Brom actually, but he's not here anymore.
Less said about him.
Just get a bit of Jed Spence slander in there. You need to always get that Jed Spence slander in there. But that's Archie or Spence. That's probably the last one. But in terms of current players, probably Archie, and that's the biggest thing, really. Even in that Bielsa season, there were some times where players had dips in performance. You remember the people like Helder Costa had dips in performance. Alioski had dips in performance. Bamford in front of goal did, and it just feels like it's not individuals, this Leeds team. As much as everyone talks, of the other 23 teams in the league, talk about, Leeds, all they do is pass the ball to Summerville and Rutter and hope for the best. It's not that at all. The team isn't on individuals at all. It's not an individual manager, individual team. They all complement each other brilliantly, is how I'd probably describe it.
Yeah, I think that's bang on. I think you've hit so many nails on the head, mate. I can't lie to you. Brilliant as always, mate. Look, just to nail down on what Oscar's said, and again, Joe Donahue coming with the good stats. He gave us the points per game ratio with Norwich after the turn of the year. Just want to read something out to you, and it also is just to give people a little bit of like calmness. So, like Mark says, I just pray that Farker does not let the players think the job is done now. Second, we must keep this momentum. What I was saying in response to this, Farker's Norwich went unbeaten in the final 14 games of the 2018-19 season en route to the title, losing once in the final 21 league games. In the other season they got promoted, they went on a 9-game winning run, part of a 13-match unbeaten streak at the end of the season in 2021. And it just further proves when he kept saying to us throughout the season, I'll look at the table when there's 8 games to go. I'll look at the table when there's this, that. Don't worry. And it's shown and it's proved dividends. Everything he told us, but as some of us have always said from the start, Joy's the best man for the job. He's been there, he's done it, he's wore the t-shirt. So the fact that we're basically just following blow for blow his Norwich sides, and both of them, okay, we might not win the league. I think we can all concede that. I think Leicester, they might drop off, but they're not going to have that big of a drop off, unfortunately for us. Maybe if August was different, we don't have the Christmas wobble, maybe we're in with a shot of it. But I'm not asked about it, to be honest. I just want out of this league. But do you have faith, Joe, that Leeds can continue this run?
I don't see a reason to not have faith that we'll continue this run, to be completely honest with you. Like, I know that in past seasons we've had the occasional wobble towards the end or something weird like that, but a lot of people will point to the past and even cases under different managers to say, we're in real trouble, something's going to go wrong. And to effectively do that, because screw it, if they can use it against Leeds, I'll use it for Leeds. When it comes to the promotion season, what happened after COVID? What happened after COVID was we came back and we just won and we won and we won and we won and everything was fine. We ground out results like we did against Swansea, like we did against, was it Barnsley as well? Towards the end of that run where we were just like, this is horrible. For some reason we're being outplayed by Barnsley, but in fact it was completely fine. And as we were saying a little bit earlier, when it comes to the defensive stuff, the most shots on target against we've conceded since the new year is 2. The last time we conceded more than 2 shots on target in a game was against Preston, when we had 10 men on the pitch and a defence that was falling apart because it had lost all of its structure. And that's paired with an attack that is unstoppable at this level. And a lot of people throw at our club like, you threw all this money at these attackers and now it's paying off. Summerville was like £1.5 million. Yes. Incredible bargain. And we've just developed him perfectly. And although he didn't really show it in the Premier League, he's starting to show it this season and it's the perfect time to do it. And he and Gnonto that have finally had that chance to pair up also work spectacularly well. And even if one of those isn't firing, we've got Dan James, who on pace alone is better than any fullback in the league. And then you apply to that the fact that he's improving technically at the same time. And even beyond that, you've got Jadon Anthony, who isn't bad. A lot of people will point to Anthony and go like, well, we've not got that much depth out wide. I've seen a lot of people say stuff like that, but Anthony is still scoring goals. He's just not getting on the pitch because everyone else is outstanding. Yeah. And we're in a spot where if something goes wrong, we have so many contingencies in place that it's hard to get worried and scared because I just think we'll be right, to be honest.
100%.
We'll be fine.
Before we do move on, I just want to shout out the Rat Army Lee Gunner's channel, the Rat Army. Thank you all for coming over. Please do smash a like as well. I know it's Leeds content. Might not be for you, but we will be next season because we will coming back to the Premier League. I know a lot of you are Arsenal fans. Big up to Lee. Where's his chat gone there? Lee reacts. Yeah, please do. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Well, they're about 100 people away from 27k now, so if you can, just drop me the sub. Big up to the Rat Army. Right, okay, Joe. Let's swing it over to you, mate. Just with that chat about the running and Farker being as good as he is. Do you back us now? Do you think, because basically it's ours to lose now, top 2. Are you confident that we do it, or is there still that nervousness amongst yourself and I don't know, the rest, your dogs and your missus. I don't know why I was going to say the rest of the
Dogs are,
family.
dogs are terrified by it, mate.
Yeah, you can only
they're
speak
nervous
for
wrecks.
yourself.
Two of them are nervous wreck. I'm always, it's Leeds, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
and that's
I
the
hear you.
pessimism that's always in me. Is if anyone can muck it up, hold my beer, we're in. But I think there's a flow to this. I think we're getting better. Like I started the season, didn't like Farke's football. Thought it wasn't the football I wanted to see. I didn't think it was exciting as fast. I thought the slow tempo. And we've talked, we had heated discussion, Joe, before Christmas about the
Many
slow
times we
tempo
have,
games.
yeah.
And I hated it. I hate seeing us play slow tempo football because I think we're rubbish when we play slow tempo football. I think we're absolutely phenomenal when we're fast. And I keep saying that. And that's I think for at least a third of the season, every time I spoke about Leeds, it was tempo, tempo, tempo. It was always tempo. But if you look at the turn of the year, as the players have got more used to the formation, JT said it on your channel last night, and I want to give him credit for saying this because I think he was bang on the money with this. Farke has learned these players, and these players are learning Farke. And you can see that there is now an understanding of how they want to play. Even Joe Piro last night, who doesn't press as well as Patrick Bamford, pressed last night. Not to the same level that Paddy does it, but he did it. And he still pressed, and he still worked his backside off. First half specifically. Second half, I thought he went down a bit, but the first half, very, very much so. So they're all starting to learn this system. They're all starting to get it. And you can see it. I haven't used the word cooking all year. I'm not a fan of the modern stuff. Last night I watched the game and I went, we're cooking. We're absolutely cooking.
You got to get with the times, German. You got to get with the times. Give the people what they want.
Ash or Mr. Dubbo or whoever these dads are.
Mr. Dubbo,
I need a picture of Daniel Farke with a frying pan over a stove. So if you can make that happen, go get on it. Because I think we are cooking. I think Farke is cooking. I just had a quick look at the run-ins, talking about that as well. And funnily enough, Leicester might drop points against us in Southampton, maybe. But that's probably about it. Looking at the run that they have, the league is theirs. Don't care. You're welcome to it. And you know what? I'll say this because Locks will be floating around at some point as well. Given what you've done this season, 100% deserve the title. Go take it. All yours.
Yeah.
The important thing is for us is to get out of this league. And I don't mind going up in second place as long as we get out of this league. We won our title a couple of years ago. We got to see that moment. I don't mind as long as we get out here. I don't mind as long as we get out of this division. If you look at Southampton's running, they have a tricky enough running. I mean, in the last few games, they've got Southampton, have Ipswich, they've Leicester, and they've Leeds. They've got in the top four. They're one of the top four. They have the other three teams.
West Brom on Friday.
West Brom on Friday, yeah. But even just look at the run in though. Yeah. Leeds have Southampton. After Leicester, we've got Southampton. So just in the last 8 games or 9 games. Ipswich probably have the easiest run in of everybody. They've only got Southampton in the top bracket of clubs in their running. So Ipswich, I still think have a bit of life in them. I agree with what Oscar's saying. I did watch the game tonight, and I thought they started like a house on fire, but I thought they definitely were trailing towards the end and looking towards the end, and we'll see how that goes over the next couple of weeks as when the games do come thicker and faster. So, but I think our running, we've got Southampton. Sunderland and Borough in that mix as well. My thing is always, we had our wobble in December. April is December again. It's the same teams. It's the reverse fixtures. If we reverse the results that we got, we go up. We go up. And that, to me, it's that simple. So Farke's doing a cracking job right now. The football's fast and it's flowing. The players look like they're in it together. Seeing Jorginho Rutter being disappointed coming off, that he didn't score and didn't do his bit for the team. I thought that was lovely. I like that. That's the right kind of disappointment, because people are saying on my channel today, side before herself. But it is because he wants to contribute for the team, and he didn't contribute for the team. In his eyes, as Daniel Farke pointed out, the work that he is doing off the ball, the harrying that he's doing, the pressing that he's doing, the running around has been phenomenal. He is contributing in lots of other ways outside of goals and assists. So I think we're in the right space. I think we're in the right headspace. We've got to keep this going, to the point about getting, complacent here. The job ain't done. Farke's German. Farke said it in the press conference as well. It's done when it's done. It's not done yet. We keep going. Yeah. I think it gets done before the last game of the season. I really don't want to go into having Southampton at home needing a draw or a win to get promoted. But I think we can do it before that. I think the fixtures will be in our favour. And when the weather gets better, we tend to play better anyway as well. We're going through it's predominantly our tricky part of the year as well. So we'll commit with this.
Full time.
I think we'll be fine. I think we do it. I have faith in the man. He's proven me wrong, and I put my hand up and will accept. I didn't like the stuff with the young players. I don't like how he calls out young players. That's just a gripe that I have as a coach. I don't call out young players. I didn't like that. Outside of that, everything else he's doing, keep doing what you're doing.
Sure, maybe, right? Because what I would say, and I'm saying this with Jess, by the way, but because Farker and the young players have done so well, maybe as a coach you should take on that mantle and start just berating your young players. They might play better for you. just take that from
I
me.
berated all my players. So it sometimes worked. More often than not, it didn't. So
yeah, and just on locks, me and Oscar are unlucky enough to be in a group chat with him, so don't worry, he reminds us every fecking day that he predicted the points total. So we'll wait and see. Listen,
You know what the funniest thing was? When Locke started that group chat, the first message he put into it was, "Who's this? You deleted this?"
Who, me?
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't have it.
cold.
Oh, no, because on WhatsApp I have the name saved, like, because it's on iMessage or whatever, and it's totally different. I wasn't being rude. Just while I remember as well, listen, there's 694 people watching. I received a lovely email from a guy called Darren, and he was on his way to the game. He was on his way to the game the other night, and he met two lads by the name of Paul and Andy, who live at the Glyn Living Care Home. I'm not sure if it's in Leeds, somewhere around that, but the regular watchers of this show and everyone else's content, and they were just chatting over YouTube and content and all that sort of stuff. So I just want to, if they are watching, I promised that I would give a shout out. So Glyn, at the Glyn Living Care Centre, Paul and Andy, who watch the show regularly, thank you very much, and thanks for supporting the channel, and I hope you're enjoying the content, lads. All right, and make sure you check everyone else's out as well, which I'm told you already do, so big up for that.
Joe, real quick on that,
yes, mate.
if you are supporting shows, I need 60 subscribers. That's all I need to hit 23k. That's all I need.
Right,
60.
okay.
Oh, look at you at 23. I'm down here pushing for 2.
Hey, Joe, man, we'll push together. Don't worry about it.
We'll make it. It's fine.
Yeah. No worries, Darren. No worries, mate. Thanks for reaching out by email, by the way, because that was really nice for you to do that, brother. Yeah, listen, look, there's 693 people here. If people are close to getting subscribers, etc., then please do go on over, show some love. Unfortunately, the links aren't in the description because I have that many people on. I can't lie to you, it's very lazy of me, but I was kept like having to chop and change it every week. I'm not being like a knobber out like that, but go put if you folks on the channel, put it in the chat and I'll flash it up for you as well. All Leeds TV, Joe, Oscar, Oh No Better, Joe Blackburn, Joe at Leeds United, The View. There we go. There we go. Turns out as well, Joe Blackburn wasn't even subbed to Joe, so there you go.
I'm subbed to you.
I am now.
Bang out of order. Bang out of order. It's all right, Joe. I'll sort it, mate. Don't worry. He's gone. Let's put him back up there. I'm gonna have to move people around now. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. So next bit we're gonna talk about, because I've had a couple of. Carl, I'm gonna come to you on this, right?
Okay.
Because I think the lad that they're making reference to is on your podcast. Okay. There's been a big take on the centre back situation at Leeds United. Big shout out Gilly, by the way, top guy. Yeah. But I want to talk about it because Richard said it's no coincidence that since Ampadu's moved into centre-back, beside Rodon, we are constantly keeping clean sheets. I wanted to get what everyone's opinion is on this, because it's on social media. I spend a lot of time on social media. But I just wanted to get like what folks' opinion are. Do you believe, Carl, had this change not been forced, that would be as good now? Or do you think it is just down to them two? Are we being too disrespectful to Strauch as a footballer? I just wanted to know what everyone can come in on this. But Carl, what's your thoughts?
I think it's the turn of events that's brought it about is either unlucky for Strike and great for us, or whatever the vice versa might be. But I think looking back at how Strike and Rodon were starting to play, like, we weren't conceding mad amount of goals, but you've also got that synergy between Rodon and Ampadu because they play for Wales and they know each other inside out. So there's always going to be that little kind of click between them.
And he does play centre back at Wales, Ampadu, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does slot in there every now and again. And any loan he's been out on, I think he said about maybe the October time that's the longest stint he's actually played in a midfield role for any one club over the last while, because when he was in Italy, they started playing him centre back and everywhere else as well. But it's a hard one to call because the two boys know each other like clockwork, and then you've got Strike and Rodon trying to build a partnership, which I don't think was in any way bad. I just think at the moment Strike's going to struggle to get back in there. But I like the fact that Fark has all these headaches. I think it's one of the best things to come about for the longest time. And as far as I'm concerned, if whoever's playing better at centre back and isn't injured, I think they continue to play at centre back unless an injury occurs. And I think that's just where I stand on it. He won't change a winning team.
No.
But he also has to think, right, okay, Strike was playing well. We can start rotating now in the midfield. I know I said it last time I was on, but we can actually start doing that now. If we find a game might be getting away from us, we can throw Ampadu up into the middle, bring on Strike, and then go from there. But it gives them headache options, which I think is class. And
100%.
They're a very good partnership, let's be honest. Very good. One goal in 8 games is phenomenal. Like,
yeah,
you can't rest that. You can't change that. Even if Pascal came back available next game, you've got to keep the momentum going. What this Leeds team is built on is momentum. And one thing I would say is, I think the biggest part of it is Joe Rodon. I genuinely think you could put a lot of people alongside Joe Rodon. Nothing against Ampadu at all. I think he's outstanding. 1 goal in 7 speaks for itself. But I think Rodon is the big difference maker. He just gives you everything you want. I think he's the best defender in the league. To be honest with you, I do think you can put, even when Coops has gone alongside Rodon, I think we've looked fine at the back. I think that's a big part of it. I think if it was Pascal and Ampadu, say if Rodon had picked up the injury, I don't think Ampadu or Pascal would have looked as good. I just think it's, whoever it is, obviously it's Rodon plus, Strauch, etc., etc. But there's no reason to change it. I think there's no reason to rush Pascal back into the team at all. At the risk of getting him injured again. Maybe look at that Chelsea game, depending on when Pascal's back available, potentially. But for me, in the league, just keep it as it is, because it's not so much, I think, we're better with Pascal not in the team. We've just took the opportunity, haven't we? We took it as an opportunity to put Gruev in the team, and he never would have discovered Gruev, maybe to the same extent, had Pascal not got injured. And same kind of thing with Dan James and the Gnonto, I suppose. We've just, when those situations have occurred, we've just, Byram and Firpo as well. Firpo getting into the team. Byram, I think, has probably been over the seasons been better than Firpo at left back for me. But you don't drop Firpo now for Byram. It's what good managers do. They do find solutions. I think had this happened under Jesse Marsh, it would have been absolutely chaos. If one of our better players got injured, I mean, it was chaos anyway. Even with our best 11 available, that is the difference it makes. And there's no question about that. But as much as if you say anything slightly critical of Pascal, it just gets picked up on Twitter. I wouldn't have gone as far as what Gilly did, saying he was a liability. But no, listen, there's no reason for Rodon and Ampadu. We took the opportunity of that, the way it's appeared for us anyway.
Yeah.
I was going to just say on that
headset needs charging, therefore I can't hear you anymore. So just 1 second. Let me. I think you finished anyway. Joe, you come in, mate. I don't know what you're saying, but you.
Hang
on, I'm back.
I mean, if you're gonna say Ampadu going in centre back is what's made the difference, then you're probably doing a disservice to Ilya Gruev. You could also say Ilya Gruev going to centre midfield is what's made the difference. I mean, there's a knock-on effect there as well, and the team is playing a very different, much faster style of football since the turn of the year. I think it's a coincidence that it coincides with Pascal. Pascal was phenomenal the first half of the season. That shouldn't be taken away. He made the captain by the manager as well, which says an awful lot about the player as well. I think it's an easy thing to point. We do like to pick out a player and slightly knock them for very little reason at all. Same thing with Jaden Anthony. Is he contributing an awful lot? The exact same thing was said about Willie Gnonto till he got a run of matches in a row, and then we started to see Willie Gnonto of old again. Jaden Anthony could get 4 or 5 games in a row, and you might see a very different looking player from him as well. So I think it's a coincidence that's happened. I don't think it's anything down to Pascal Stroke. I agree with 100% what Oscar said. I think it is the brick wall at the back that is Joe Rodon that is cementing that defense together. Excuse the pun, but I think it is, and we've seen it with Cooper. Cooper looked excellent beside Rodon as well. But we've seen times this year when Rodon wasn't in the team and it was Cooper with Stroke, and it didn't look right at all. It's the balance that there. You got the right foot on the right side, the left foot on the left side. I think it's a coincidence. Joe Rowland's been immense. And Joe Rowland, if anything, has picked up the mantle that Pascal Stroke started the season with as well, where when we couldn't pass out from the back, Stroke would carry the ball out and burst into the middle of the park with the ball and pass it. When he came out, there was no do that. If you look at Joe Rowland at the weekend, the goal, one of the goals that we scored, he passed the ball to Kamara, and it's Joe Rowland runs right through the middle of the park before he passes it out to Kamara. So Joe Rowland's picked up the mantle from that and is copying, not copying, but replicating what Pascal did in the first half of the season. So I think it's a pure coincidence that's happened. I think that the entire team is starting to gel a bit better. And I think, again, you could argue, is Ilya Groove the reason that Leeds are defending as well and conceding less goals? Because his tackling and his last minute tackling in particular has been phenomenal this year since he's come in.
Great shout. And
you could put anyone in beside Rodon. I think you could put any centre mid player in beside Rodon, and they do just as good a job. That's not taken away from Ampadu now by any means or anything like that. It just shows how much influence and talk can get you through a game, and Rodon seems to have that in spades.
Yeah, I think it's a great shot. And with that, right, you've just given me a great idea on the fly. Okay. So I'm going to ask this question now, and I think we can debate it. Who is the most integral player in this side right now? So we've won, 7 games on the spin. We're unbeaten. We're flying. If tomorrow, say Southampton, Ipswich, or Leicester were able to pick one player to injure for the rest of the season, who do they pick? Is my point. Who as Leeds fans would we wake up in the morning and say, "Oh shit, so-and-so's injured, that's us done"? We know how pivotal Bamford is. I know he's picked up a knock.
Rodon.
You've got the keeper, you've got Joe Rodon, you've got Gruyev, you've got Ampadu, Summerville, top G&A. Let's, because the chat's popping off now. You say straight off the bat, Joe Rodon. Without him, we're done.
I think we can see goals without him.
Okay. And is
I'll
anyone
second Rodon.
Rodon?
Yeah.
I think if we'd brought in another creative player, just to throw a little spanner in there, I'd go Rutter, because we haven't brought in another creative player who can play that 10 role.
Yeah.
And he is literally unlocking defenses at the moment.
He's made out of gazelles and rubber, though, so he's not going to break.
He reminds me of Paulo Wanchop, the way he runs with the ball. Honest to God.
Legs.
Yeah, doesn't know where he's going with it, but eventually finds that pass. It's class. But yeah, sorry.
He might be made of gazelles, but we all know what happened with Bambi's mum, so...
A bit much, Joe. It's a bit much.
No trigger warning on this stream, Joe. There's no trigger warning on this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Joe, who would be the most important for you?
I was also going to chuck a spanner in the works and say that without Crescencio Summerville, I don't think we score enough, because we do have that occasional defensive wobble in us, even though we've only scored 1 goal all calendar year, and that was from a set piece, so very little from open play. But if we do have that wobble, we need the creativity to build out, and I feel like if we're missing Summerville, we don't have that sort of connection between Summerville, Gnonto. Ruter has someone less reliable to pass to. I don't know what it means for the centre forward, but that feels a little bit more wobbly as well. I feel, in terms of the attacking sense, and purely because I wanted to give an answer that wasn't Joe Rodon, who would be my actual answer, I think I'd probably go with Summerville for who would cause the most damage if we were.
But really Rodon.
Probably, yeah.
Could you throw in Bamford possibly in terms of how we play? It worked well with Piroe yesterday. It definitely worked well with Piroe yesterday. I'm not going to question that for 1 minute, but would it work as well against low blocks? When you need someone with the back to goal to link things together. I still think it's Rodon, by the way. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit, but Bamford's, I'm hoping it doesn't show, but I do still think his pressing, etc., is crucial to this team. And a lot of our kick up in form has come from Bamford coming into the 11 after that Birmingham game. So I think there is a case for it. I still say Rodon, but Bamford's got to be up there for me.
I think sort of, but in a very specific way. If we hadn't had Bamford all season, I'd agree with you, because we'd still be playing with that Piro Ruter double 9, double 10 weird thing. But since Bamford came in, he sort of taught the team around him, okay, this is what we need to do because this frees up Ruter more, and when Ruter's free, he finds the better passes. And now we've learned that. I feel like even if we don't have Bamford for the rest of the season, we've got Piro going, well, that just works. So why don't I just stay there a little bit more, give Ruter the space,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the balance
of
is
course.
fine.
It's like that arrival of Bamford into the team. If it is just for 6 weeks, it was almost like that's like the textbook of what we need to be now, kind of thing, and just follow that now for the rest of the season, kind of thing. But yeah, there's no question about that. I think Rodon, in terms of pure profile at the back, I just don't think there's anyone in the team that can replicate what he can do. Maybe a Charlie Creswell, but Charlie Creswell's hardly played this season, and it wouldn't be Charlie Creswell who goes into the 11 anyway. With the way Farke's selecting the team, it would be Cooper or someone like that who'd go in, and it's just not the same as Rodon in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
And it's the whole leadership as well of Rodon. He has been the presence that's changed that whole back line. It's gone from being the worst defence in the league last season to the best this season. So it has to be Rodon.
Yeah, no, I think, I suppose if I just thought, to be honest, I thought we'd have more debate, but we haven't. We've all basically settled and said,
What the saying goes, Joe, clean sheets win your titles.
yeah.
Like that the question was very open-ended because there's so many parts to pitch that if we lose a player, we could potentially be screwed, So it's a good question, but it kind of died a death.
You're hammering my question there, Carl. Nice one, mate. I thought I was being right clever. You fucking, yeah. I'll go back to broadcasting school.
No, I wasn't
Joe was
saying it like
hoping.
that, man.
Joe was hoping for a hear me out kind of answer here. Like,
yeah.
hear me out.
Sorry.
Junior
Hear me
Firpo.
out. Yampa Vader.
100%. I was thinking, right, let's cook up a storm here. Nah, nothing. Rodon, all done. Right, okay. This one might cause a little bit more discussion with us. So, I've had a lot of comments on my last video saying, told you Piroe's the best. We played our best football with Piroe in the 9. Bamford's no good. I'm not quite saying, but that's the whole premise by a lot of fans, is that Bamford's still rubbish, and therefore we need someone else to fulfil his position. Well, he's not going to be able to shake it now for some fans, unfortunately. But for me, a lot of that.
Why can't we just say Patrick Bamford's playing well when he's playing well, and if he's not playing well, he's not playing well? Why can't we just admit when someone's playing good football and contributing to the team, which Bamford has assists and goals in a few games, and it's not a huge amount of games that he's been in for. I had my issues with Bamford at the start of the season as well. I said I didn't think he belonged in the Leeds shirt because he didn't look like he wanted to be there anymore. He didn't look confident. He didn't look like he was playing. He didn't look like he fit anymore. And I thought it was, I didn't want him to struggle there. So maybe it was better for everybody that there was a freshening up of it as well. The guy's contributed. In the games he's played, he has contributed. He's contributed assists. He's contributed goals. He's occupied the two. We looked back a couple of weeks ago and we showed that picture of Bamford standing between the two centre backs and the 6-yard area. He occupies that space where nobody else was earlier in the season, and there was balls fizzing into those areas, and there was nothing getting onto them. So, he might not be perfect, but when he has a good game and he is contributing, why can't we just say he's contributing? Why do we have to go, well, he's crap? Well, based on what? Like, on the sample size of the games he's been available for this year, he's done all right.
Go on.
Sorry, can I just throw something in there, right? Bamford coming back has pushed and forced Farke to play Jorginho in the 10 role. Bamford doesn't come back. Do we go on the run because Georgie is still playing up top with Piro behind him? The elements of the whole thing, we're not playing the way we're playing because Bamford wasn't in the squad, or in the team. We're playing that way because Georgie had to be played in the 10 to accommodate him.
100%. And the reason I wanted to bring that up as well is obviously Bamford's now picked up a knock. Piroe's played in the 9. He's got himself a goal. But I think a lot of us, or majority of us, think that was maybe... Listen, I don't want to take anything away from him, but a lot of that was due to the way that Southampton played. I think Graham's said it as well. Piroe... It was easy. It was an easy game for him to play in. My point is, majority of the games we've still to play. Your likes of maybe Millwall and Plymouth, especially at the weekend. Let's focus on Plymouth. They're going to be playing with 5 at the back. We've seen them on a number of occasions. That's what they've done. If Bamford isn't fit for that, is this a major cause for concern? Because we've seen earlier on in the season, yes, we did win games. Yes, he scored a lot of goals. But in some games, specifically away from home, when we were trying to break down a low block, with Piro up there, it didn't work. It did not work. So is there a concern from us on this panel that the Bamford loss could be absolutely huge, or are we being a little bit too disrespectful to?
There's a concern, but I do think the difference, ironically, is that I think Piroe and Gnonto works better than Piroe and James did. So I think certainly against a low block, I think we have to remember Gnonto, when he started out, was a striker. Yeah, before he came to Leeds, he started out as a striker. His whole youth career, he's been a striker. All right, maybe more of a second striker. But what I noticed yesterday was Rutter would often find himself on the right wing. Gnonto would come inside, and Piroe would kind of like drop in, kind of thing, and Gnonto would almost be like a false nine at times. Not the whole game, and it was very fluid, and it felt like it worked better in that sense. Listen, Piroe isn't a striker who's going to give you a 90-minute performance like Bamford does in terms of holding the ball up, pressing, being an absolute relentless beast up top. That isn't what Piroe is. He's a moments player. He's someone who wins your games and is clutch at the crucial moments. That is what Piroe's all about, really. And he was last night. He came up clutch when he needed to. But if you're asking me who would I rather start against Plymouth if everyone's fit, it would be Bamford. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that. But we can use as an opportunity effectively, in terms of Piroe and Gnonto. I think they have got movements that accommodate each other almost. Gnonto, when he gets in that inside channel, left or right, he's scoring goals. He's getting into positions that he didn't get into last season. It feels like with that centre forward to play off, it could work a bit better. And the thing is with Farker is he's found solutions to pretty much everything so far this season. It's I don't think it's a situation where we're going to end up with Dan James up top. That could come back to haunt me. But I don't think it will happen. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I don't think I'm that worried. I think if it had to happen, I'd rather it happen now than next week. If Bamford can get himself back fit for Leicester, that would be lovely.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's
anyone else
also just on that, Joe. Bamford has started 6 games this season. He's scored 4 and assisted in 1 from the start. Now, the bench is a different thing, but Leeds' bench this year have been getting, minuscule amount of minutes, and we've seen that with Gnonto as well. Wasn't making an impact off the bench, gets a run from starting games. You see the impact that he makes then. So there's that. I think you'll see a change. I thought we saw it last night. Remember, the last time Piro and Rutter were starting, Rutter was 9, Piro was 10. And we spent the first third of the season going, swap them.
We have seen it switch round though, Joe, and it didn't work.
No, I agree. But I think last night we saw Piro playing as an out-and-out number 10, not just false 9, false 10, where they swap over and keep swapping over, which is what we were seeing. I think the big thing for me has been Jorginho Rutter, and I think a lot of the catalyst for an awful lot of the change in Leeds form has been Jorginho Rutter moving into that 10, because he's far more involved than Piro was as number 10. He goes and looks for the ball, he creates space, he goes to find space, he links passes, and him. The kind of player Rutter is when he does drop into those holes. Earlier on the season when he was dropping in the space where Piro was already occupying. So when Leeds did win the ball, there was no focal point up front for anyone to go to. So you had to go around the outside, and it didn't really work, and there was nobody ever in the... We looked back at the start of the season at how many times we had a player in the box when the ball was out wide. We nearly never had anybody in the box. Yeah. Now, I think yesterday we saw with Piro, he was in the box. He was central. He was staying there. Like even the link-up play with Gnonto for his goal, he's central, gets it, lays it off like a number 9 should, turns and heads back towards goal, gets it back and scores. That's what he needs to do, and that's where he needs to be. This yesterday was very much a Jorginho Rutter was number 10 and Piro was number 9, out and out, stuck in those positions. And the thing that Rutter does as well is because the kind of player he is, he attracts players to shut him down. He'll pull a fullback in when he drifts out slightly wide and a midfielder, and that creates space for Gnonto and Summerville, whoever's out wide, to get into the space that he's just made by attracting those players. And they all attract those players. I mean, if you're a defender against Leeds right now and you want to have a go and if you want to go forward, you've got both eyes over both shoulders going, where's Summerville? Where's Gnonto? Where's Rutter? When they get the ball, where are these players? And you're not concentrating. And last night, Swansea was the epitome of it. They weren't great. But you've also got to say, at some point this year, and I've said it a couple of times, were they bad or were we great? There's a consistency there now that says the way that we're playing really, really well. These players are finding gaps. They're dropping into holes of space themselves. They're dragging players out of position because another Leeds player will go and fill that space afterwards and get moving. Junior Firpo, another example of that is when Summerville or Gnonto does come inside and drags the fullback in, boom, Firpo's gone into that space straight away. Georgie gets the ball and plays it straight into that space. There's a method to the madness. It looks good. It's working. I think it's a different thing. I'd prefer Bamford as the out-and-out number 9 because I think he suits the 2 players around him. I think they can all link off him very, very well. Same with the midfielders. But I think if Piro plays the way he played yesterday, especially again the first half, keep saying the first half because the second half, I think a lot of the players dropped off for about 20 minutes and it's a different start in the second half. But if he plays like that, then I don't think we've got anything to worry about. And again, I still think Rutter will be the one that causes the problem. And that will free up space for Piro as well. I think Farkas swapped them around. We asked for it all year. We got it last night. We scored 4 goals.
It's mad. It's like Piro has watched Bamford for the last 6 games and gone, that's what I need to do as a number 9. And you could see, like, we kind of covered it on the pod earlier, but he doesn't have the pace to cover the closing ground, the pressing ground that Bamford does. But you can see he tried it last night and he tried to play that number 9 in the way that Bamford plays it, just not to the same effect. But at the end of the day, he got his goal and he done quite well, so we can't really argue with it. Like,
No, I think
I do think basing the is Piroe the right person for the Plymouth match on the Swansea match feels a little bit of a weird one, though, because they will play completely differently stylistically. Swansea had an insanely high line that was effectively suicide against us, and Plymouth will just sit and they will wait and they will be patient and they will counter at some point and occasionally have a chance. The way we played Swansea was so weird. The fact that they set up in a bizarre way, I genuinely think Dan James would have gotten 3 or 4 goals in that match up top because it was perfect for him, because it's going behind. Even as a number 9, Dan James is going to press the hell out of them, win the ball with a massive space behind and tear them apart. So I think using yesterday as a judge of who's the better number 9 going forward for the rest of a championship season feels a little bit odd. Piroe was good, to be fair. Say again?
We're not doing that, though, are we?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, true.
We're just saying that obviously we're going to have to see. I agree with you, John, in effect of like saying, yeah, he played well yesterday, but like, will he play the same way against Plymouth and stuff? That's my concern. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain players suit certain games better. I think Dan James in the game last night, ironically, as much as Gnonto was fantastic, I think on paper you'd probably rather Dan James in that kind of game and Gnonto in the game against Plymouth, and that's going to be the great thing when we have everyone available. It's part of the point with Pascal as well. Certain games, you know, when we're playing better quality opposition, you might want to put Pascal in over Ampadu at centre back. You know, that's what I think the nature of the squad will be, and I think over the final quarter of the season, you'll see Farke rotate a lot more. He did seem to do that with Norwich. You know, certainly in that first promotion, he did rotate the midfield quite a bit. Front 4, sometimes he swapped between Onel Hernandez and Cantwell on the left wing and things like that. And depending on the nature of the opponent and, you know, fitness levels and how many games everyone have been playing in that lot, you know, Archie Gray and Connor Roberts will switch around as well. So I do think we are covered in most positions apart from that right sided centre back spot and maybe Gigi Rutter.
Have you finished? Sorry.
That did feel a bit sudden, yeah.
Yeah, it was so sudden. But I think a lot of us are all going, what's going on with the... I think my mic's bad. I think Oscar's mic's bad. So I'm just going to jump out and jump back in for a second. Sorry.
We just talk amongst ourselves now.
Yeah.
This is a good chat, guys. Good chat. It's
So how about those pigeons?
The pigeons and hamsters, eh?
Is that better? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
okay. Mine
just on the
sounded
pigeons
like
and
it
hamsters,
was... Yeah, it sounded like I was going underwater. And then Oscar's just
is mine
keeps
still
going...
bad? Should I do the same?
No, it's all right, bro. It's not... they'll just have to... Just live with it, people, man. It is what it is. He's getting it sorted. He'll be back. He will be sorted. Gary Paul says, can we have a shout out for Melier? Save Unreal. Yeah, look, on that one, for me, I shit it because I was like, oh, he's come and now he's gone back and now he's in no man's land, and then he put out his foot and he made a great save. And I thought I think his distribution is improving as well.
He nearly got his assist yesterday as well. He was that close.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Roller Blunt says, I genuinely believe we are 4 decent signings away from being a top team. Keep what we have and we're laughing. Looking forward to Prem next season. Yeah, I think they will spend as well.
Next season.
But
apparently, there's from what was said, there's big plans for a squad overhaul in the summer. It should up, but there's a mass, and you've seen that with the players that they've been letting go this year and moving out of the club. So it's a big, massive overhaul plan, and the under 21s as well. So there's a huge overhaul plan.
Needed, I think. Bobby says Oscar's rodent of a mic.
It's going, guys. It's going.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
going,
I'm
man.
As long as he
Sorry,
keeps
sorry.
it here and doesn't vanish off screen for any reason, we're
When I
fine.
get excited about the form we're on, 7 wins in a row. Yeah, that's when it goes wrong, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just have to keep calm.
It is. Right, okay. So, folks, just to finish up, I'm trying to rack my brains. What should we do? What should we talk about?
Let's pick our best 11, Joe. You've got 5
Just
minutes.
Joe
Let's go.
FC. Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Right, okay. No, well, to be honest, Joe, on that best 11 that we did the other day, I've now flipped back and said, yeah, Stroud can't come back in now. Unfortunately, he can't. So.
I agree with what Carl said. Nobody comes back in.
Yeah.
Nobody comes back in. It's on merit
Really
now.
can't.
Players that are in have justified. Dan James is I like Dan James. Dan James is going to find it tricky to get a start unless somebody goes out injured, and then that's kind of what's going to have to be. Same in the middle of the park. Someone's going to have to get injured or be fatigued for somebody else to come in and get their crack at it. And then when they get their crack at it, this is not the first half of the season like the Stoke game. When they come in, they're going to have to do it if they want to keep their place in the team. And it's a very good team to have a very competitive squad. They're all waiting for their opportunity and they have to be patient and wait. Even Connor Roberts coming in, I think he's been fine the 2 games he's come in, but he has to wait as well. He's not going to just pop back into that team. So Farke doesn't change a winning team, and Carl's 100% correct. Anybody coming back into that team is going to have to wait for their opportunity and do it on merit.
100%.
And come here, the fact that the captain will have to wait says something.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
That was very Irish of you there when you went, Anne, come here. Where am I coming? Am I coming to see you? What's going on?
Usually when I heard that when I was younger, it ended with the wooden spoon. So
Hey, will you come here, will you?
come here and I bat you.
No. Joe ever comes up to you and says, "Come here, you run." It means the opposite.
Don't go near them.
Love that. Right, okay. So, Joe, West Brom plays Southampton at the Hawthorns on Friday. Who wins the game?
It's a weird one because what Southampton have been doing recently, they've been conceding a lot of goals and then trying to get back into a game. I think what West Brom do is they take advantage of that. They score 1 or 2 and then they just do what West Brom do. They sit and they make themselves absolute hell to play against. And I can see it being a nice, grindy 1-0 win to West Brom. Something like that. I don't think it's going to be comfortable for either team, whoever wins. But it's going to be... It's the sort of match that isn't fun to watch for anybody. Everyone will hate it, but I think we'll get the result we want out of it.
I won't hate it if we get the result, I'm telling you.
I want Carlos to cook up the stinkiest low block you've ever seen. I want all 11 players within 10 yards of... West Brom's goal for the 90 minutes, just out and nick it on the set piece as well. Just full on,
Yeah.
Oscar
I
is
think
mullet there, man. I was going to say mullet free kick and a Bednarak on goal.
yeah.
Don't
How
worry, we're
about
switching
on
them
the
up.
set piece?
We're switching them up as we go. Joe, Leeds play Plymouth, obviously 12:30 early kickoff. Give me a score prediction for that.
I'm tired of playing Plymouth. I think we know them better than any other team in the league at this point, don't we? If we
Yeah.
learned nothing about the games against them. I think we win. I think we probably win it a little bit more comfortably than we have against them in the previous couple of games. They've got to be tired of coming up against us at this stage. And the over... I was like watching too much of the Super Bowl at the weekend. The overtime, the extra time in the game, the FA Cup, I think would have rattled them a little bit as well coming into it. So I think it'll be a good game because it is a good game against Plymouth. But Darko JB's been really good for them in the middle of the park, and he's been part of the reason they've been kind of turning some form in the last couple of weeks. He's been called out a couple of times. Can't play in this game, which means you've got to reshake the team, and that's a big factor as well. Adam Forshaw can.
Yeah, he will be able to, right? It's not the FA Cup.
He wasn't in the team today or yesterday. He didn't start the game, and he has been starting, so maybe he's got a knock again.
Surely Forshaw's not injured.
Games, can he?
No.
I know, it's not right.
Exactly, that's
that
the
really
thing,
never
innit?
happens.
It'd be done. Right, okay. Carl, does this go to the last game?
No, we're 4 points ahead last game. Party time all day long. We're 4 points clear, and I think I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I'll say we'd be 4 points clear of Leicester.
Wow.
Oh.
Imagine a title charge now, though. It'd be insane.
Is that?
Lads, we play them next Friday.
Yeah, but off the top of my head, they have to drop 16 points, and we have to be perfect for that to
No,
happen.
man, they're only
9
12
games,
points
isn't it?
ahead of us.
Yeah, and you're saying us 4 points clear of
14
them.
left.
Yeah.
14 games left.
It's a
12
fish.
points of a gap.
14
Hell of a
points.
swing.
It's a lot of points to pick up between now and the end of the season. And
No, it is.
we've hit the run at the right time.
I got a text off Blocks this morning just saying 10 more wins and we've broke the points record. 10 more wins.
Imagine if they break the points record and we still beat them to the league title.
I mean, that
You
would,
still get the
that would
same
be
trophy
impressive.
when you break the record, don't you?
Yeah.
It's still the same
It's
trophy,
nice
isn't it?
though.
Yeah.
It's nice though.
Can you bookmark a live episode? Can you?
Don't worry, I've got that, mate. I've got that. Oscar, it's the final word. So you give us the final word on today's show.
Just keep doing what we're doing. That's it, isn't it? It's just keep the momentum going.
Consistency.
Consistency. Don't overthink things. Just take each game as it comes. Don't worry too much about Southampton and Ipswich. I think the biggest thing is, okay, if you had told me after that West Brom game we'd have it back in our hands less than 6 weeks later, I'd have thought you're mad. And that's how well we've done. So we've got the hard bit done, getting it back into our own hands. Now just take it each game by as it goes, kind of thing. Don't worry about what Southampton and Ipswich are doing. As long as we do our job, we'll get ourselves into the top 2. It's not going to be easy, but it's in our hands, and that's all we can ask for now.
100%. Yeah, we're back at the masters of our own destiny, aren't we? That's the main thing, and that's where you want to be. So for sure. Listen, another great show, folks. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. As I said earlier, getting so close to 27k now. 85 away now, so big up. Sorry, maths is not my strong point. Joe Blackburn, at Joe Blackburn. Make sure you go and subscribe over there. Joe, Leeds United The View. How far are you off now, Joe? Did you get any more?
43. It's moved to about 20.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for subscribing.
Yes, love that. Carla ought to know better.
You're welcome.
Carla ought to know better, and Oscar at All Leeds TV has seen on many other podcasts.
Can I make a request as well?
Go on,
I
mate.
think off the top of my head, we're about 40 or 30k. So if you can help us get to that magic number, that'd be great. And as soon as Joe Blackburn subscribes to us, we'll be 39.
Yes.
Off,
Yeah.
I'll have you know that I already have. I think it was just Joe that I forgot.
Wow.
But it's done now. It's fine.
Yeah, mate, look, make sure you check everyone's content. It's a great community. I think we're quite lucky in the Leeds United space, to be honest, to have such great content creators. So make sure you go check them all out. Smash a like on this video. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. White Rose Rivals will be back at 6 p.m. because I don't have anything on the Thursday. We haven't done it for a while, so that'll be interesting. And we can wind Dant up, the Hull fan, and tell him that Jadon Philogene goal is actually an own goal, and had the defender not got a head on it, it was going wide. So it ain't
as
that
long
great.
as he does it against Southampton, he can call it the greatest goal of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
I don't. As long as he does that again on next Tuesday, I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. Right, smash a like, folks. We're out this time. Thank you very much. I'm going to sort out this sty.